CHICKEN. Use the code chicken in the shop. CHICKEN.
Guys, the Chicken is here, bringing you another Beach video. In today's video, guys, very excited. We are going to be going over a sneak peek of Season 12. We'll go over the entire tech tree. We got OP Destroy on the horn to break it down. And, yeah, guys, before we get started, I do appreciate it if you use the code CHICKEN in the shop. It does help support the channel just a little bit, so make sure to use that if you're going to be buying instant training or anything for this season of Warships. So, OP, let's go ahead and just dive into it, man. I think the first part of the tech tree is pretty obvious. I think we're gonna go for a heavy rush meta, right?
Yeah, what's up, Chicken? Thanks for having me, man. Yeah, the heavy rush seems to be the always beginning offensive meta going into each season, and because they're right on the cuffs there, I believe they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Now, we also have the riflemen there, which are a little quicker, and there's more massive amounts of riflemen than heavies, and they'll move quicker. So I could definitely see potential rifleman rushes too, but the only problem will be the fact that those mines you see down there, you have too many of those guys hitting that. You don't have no med kits or anything, so I think it'll be harder for the riflemen than the heavies.
Yeah, no support on the GB. We do have early flares, so that just makes the heavy rush even that much stronger. But since we do, we have to get riflemen. They're not bad to upgrade to max out. I don't know if you need to do it right away, but they're super cheap. And the biggest thing is Kavan with second wind. If Kavan comes into play later on during the season, then you definitely want to make sure that you have your riflemen maxed out at that point. So probably hold off if you didn't do so well last season and you don't have a ton of chests at the beginning of the season to upgrade riflemen, but it's not a bad thing to have them by any means. So yeah, basically that's the path, guys. Is flare, rifleman, building health, cannon, heavy, third engine, and then come back down, get your mines, get your troop damage, because that's, you know, we're going to be in a heavy rush meta for at least a little bit. But then once we unlock the 30R, we move up here and we start to have some more interesting choices. We have bullet. We're probably going to stay on the bottom side of the tech tree, right? Here, OP?
Yeah, I will not be making the warrior push this season.
Didn't go so well last season, eh?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't go so well, although I was able to pull myself out of the mud there at the end. And, you know, got to Legendary 1. But nonetheless, that's a different side of a different story. But no, Warriors, yeah, probably the no-go here. Because not only do we have mines and potential boom mines at this point, you have no gunboat energy as far as artillery barrage to eradicate those boom mines or mines. And then there's even no med kit. So you're going to be having your Warriors run through minefields, which basically can't heal through. So it's definitely the bottom path seems to be the way to go on this tree.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's going to be something like smokes, bullet, boom mines, troop health, and I think shock bombs are going to be really key early on, but we also have to get GBE. So I mean, it kind of depends on how many keys and tokens and stuff that you have. Either of those, they're both going to be great choices. And then we move forward, and then we come to our first kind of biggest decision, I think, in the tech tree, where the choice is either rush to building damage and the 4th ER, or rush to artillery. So what do you think about those two choices, OP?
Well, you know what? It's kind of a flip of a coin, because we know that early on when you get a barrage or an artillery, and you can max that out, and then you have one GB node you are unlocking and maxing before that, you can potentially use the artillery shells to art out an ER or close to it. So I think people will choose that path. But again, I think the more optimal way to run this, in my opinion, guys, just FYI, it's in my opinion, you want to get your butt to the chopper, the rocket chopper.
Yep. Now, I would say, OP, there's two things that there's two different players that are going to go two different routes. And I think it's optimal for both of them. I think if you finished, you know, this is kind of, I think if you finish at rank 23 or lower, you should go for the artillery, because you're probably going to be in a heavy rush meta in 3 engines, maybe early 4 engines, for a little bit longer. And for guys like OP that are crazy and finished at Legendary, you're probably better off at going straight to rocket choppers, because by the time you get to rocket choppers, people aren't going to have a ton of defenses. By the time someone that didn't do so well last season gets to rocket choppers. They might have skipped out on a lot of stuff. They might not have boom cannons, and they're going to be facing players that have rocket choppers, and they have the defense to support that as well. So that's just my opinion. We'll see how it actually plays out, but I think that really plays a big factor into making some of these tech tree choices, is just how much tech that you really have to start the season.
Sure. No, it's different for everybody, right? It's for the lower level players. Yeah, there'll be a different path and a different way and a proposed way to go. But when it comes to other players, that more competitive, the ones that again, guys, we are also separating between instant training and non-IT. Obviously, if you have instant training, you're going to have a better advantage over the non-IT players. So this all factors into the decision making you will as you progress through the tree. But you're right, Chicken. It'll be different for a lot of people.
Yep, say if you're struggling or whatever, I think artillery is probably going to be the way to go, because that's going to boost you up a little bit faster. And then, if you're flying through everything, crushing it, getting all your chests, no problem, you're probably going to be better off to go ahead and get rocket choppers and just propel yourself. You like that, OP? Propel yourself forward.
I love it. No pun intended.
All right, so then we get to 4, and we got a lot of big upgrades here. We got boom cannons, we got RCs, like we just talked about. We got rockets, we got Kavan. At this point, OP, who do you think's the best hero is going to be? Probably still Bullet, right? Because at this point, we're mostly going to be using rocket choppers or some sort of heavy rocket chopper mix-up.
Yeah, this is another one too, is the metas. We can never 100% predict what's going to be, right? We can look at the tree, we can study it, we can dissect it, we can read it like a book. But until we find out what the real life players decide to make, I mean, it just depends on really what the players will unfold. And looking at this tree here, we have 250% GB, that just for the whole tree, 250% GB. That's a lot of GBE.
It's a lot.
So I just don't think. I think Bullet's going to shine for a very long time. Kavan usually is the ending player. He's the one that ends the season. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of in that meta. That's how it usually has gone in the past and the pattern. So we'll wait and see. But I think Bullet is going to be strong now that we have flying troops back, right?
Right. So what do you think about the amount of ice that we have, OP? And if you guys don't know what we mean by ice, is just defensive building health and defensive building damage tech nodes. It looks like we only have 4 in total, which is we usually have 6, right? So we're going to have 100% instead of 150 or 200% sometimes. I don't know if we've ever had 200%, but
right. I believe we have 150% building health in this tree.
Okay.
So there's two of them right there, and there should be one more at the end of the tree. That's if you go to the end. But the only thing that I if you guys look at it, there's only one building defensive damage. There's only 50% DBD for the whole season. So there's defenses aren't going to hit that hard. There's only one DBD statue, so that's only 50%. So this is why I think, welcome to base race season 12.
Right. Yeah, because we're not going to have the defenses to really slow up anything. So we don't want to be too over-invested in that. But at the same time, for rocket choppers, I still think what we said earlier stands, because, cannons, boom cannons, regardless of the building health, the building damage, they're going to be one-shotting rocket choppers left and right. But overall, that definitely makes it so your troops are going to be a lot faster to kind of fly in there. So, let's kind of do like a quick overview of some of the end of the tech tree. Like it's so hard to say without playing the season yet how it's going to play out. But we got Kavan, we got Scorchers, we got Brick. We have some kind of lower level prototypes back here. Again, with not much building damage, they probably won't play too much of a factor. But then we got Seekers, we got Bombers. Do you think Seekers are really going to crush it with that lack of building damage that we just talked about, OP?
I believe with the 250% GBE that's out there, that will be out there.
Right. Yeah. More important.
I believe Seekers will play a huge part.
And we actually get them before shock mines, which is the number one anti-seeker defense.
Yes.
They're kind of right before, but yeah, getting Seekers is probably going to be pretty huge.
Right, and even after shock mines, they trip them up a little bit, but the pro seeker players eat right over those shock mines. So again, but they will slow them down. They will get other players to scout bases more efficiently. but ultimately, Shock's mines will not stop them 100%.
It's not going to slow them up. We also have regular bombardiers instead of cryo bombardiers. That's going to be another buff to offense this season, guys. Especially with the lack of building damage. You know, you can build out a bunch of rocket launchers, but they're going to help with the bombardiers, but without that building damage, they're really not going to pack that punch that we're used to seeing. And, and then up from here, we get to, obviously, heavy choppers this season, going back to kind of the flying unit warships. They're going to take over. They're literally going to be unstoppable, as they are, pretty well every season, but especially this season with the lack of building damage. So a heavy chopper heavy chopper bomber is probably going to finish out the meta unless you're super skilled with seekers. But yeah, I think for the most part. And then we got all this great stuff here at the end. We got all these statue nodes. We have multiple level 3 prototypes to choose from at the very end. The usual mines and GBE and troop damage. So if you can make it to the end, you're going to be really well rewarded. So make sure you try to plan your tech tree and all your unlocks and upgrades, everything like that, as optimally as you can. And yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I think it's a cool tech tree. It's not so different that we've seen in some of the earlier seasons or some of the previous seasons, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're both going to be streaming at I don't know, like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday when Warships launches, guys. We're gonna try to set something up where we can actually stream on like the same video kind of thing, but we'll play with that as we go. But yeah, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I think that is gonna wrap up the video today. And yeah, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the stream coming this weekend. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And closing thoughts, OP, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I'm always looking forward to the new seasons that spring forward here in Warships. I love Warships, guys. I hope you do too. Leave a thumbs up on Chicken's video if you like Warships too. I'm gonna have fun. I'm a little bit about the flying troops and the bombardiers coming back because they're just so overpowered.
Right.
Well, the heavy choppers, maybe not the rocket choppers as much, but
right.
Anyways, you know what I mean. I'm gonna love it no matter what. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna push my butt off. But yeah, here's to season 12.
All right, there you go, guys. OP, thank you for coming on, man, and we will see you bright and early on Sunday morning. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. That is going to wrap up the video today. Make sure to leave a like if you found it interesting, entertaining, or informative, and we'll see you next one, guys. Check it out. Back.